auction day. So I am on the way to check out some vehicles. I've got about 16 on my list that I'm interested in. Obviously, once I get there, check them out, you know, move them, check under the hood, all those sorts of things. I doubt that I'm going to be anywhere close to that 16, but we will see. So I'm actually going to bring you along with me to look at a few of them. I'm not going to put all of them in this video. It would just be way too long a video. But I'm going to put a few of them in here so you can kind of see what I'm looking for, what I'm looking at when I'm looking at the vehicles, all of those sorts of things. So join me as we go and look at some cars at the auction. Now, I did want to mention a lot of these are going to be trucks. They do have a good amount of trucks this month. And so I am going to be looking at a good amount of trucks. There's a few cars as well. There's a Tesla, there's a Mustang, there's a Camaro, a few different ones like that. I ideally don't want to buy anything that resales like $5,000 or below, simply because of the fees, the tax, title, tag, etc. that we have here in South Carolina. You're going to be charged, I think it's $385 per title that you transfer. And since I don't have my dealer's license yet, then I have to pay that $385 on every single car that I buy. Now, I build that into my profit margin, you know, so it's still worthwhile. It has been for all the vehicles that I bought so far, but that is something that I have to consider. So say, for example, a car comes up for $2,000 and I think I can resell it for $3,500 or $4,000. Like, that'd be a decent profit, right? But then on top of that, I'm going to have at least $400 that goes to the government plus additional. So it's probably going to be like $500 that's going to go to the government. So that makes it $2,500. And then I got my repairs in there. And so then the margins start to get pretty slim. So because of that, I don't typically go for any vehicle that's going to sell for under 10 grand, because I found that those vehicles that are, you know, maybe like if I can get it really cheap. Like, I did have that one truck that I bought a few months ago that I paid $3,600 for, and I ended up only reselling it for, I think it was $7,600, something like that. So I ended up making a good profit on it, even after the tax, the title, the tag, etc., and the repairs. But I bought it at 36, and after everything it was 51, so it was like $1,500 in repairs, tax, title, tag. So that's something that you have to consider as well when you're buying from a public auction versus when you have your dealer's license. So that's why I stay typically over that price range. So we'll see what we get. So first things first, if you're going to the auction, bring one of these if it's allowed. The one I go to, it is. So make sure to bring a scanner. One of the ones I'm interested in, it's a 2013 Mustang and only has about 110,000 miles. Now, this one is going to be a cheaper one. Like I said, I try and stay more expensive. This is going to be a little bit of a cheaper model. It's just a V6, so nothing too terribly fancy about it. Interior looks good though. So I always look at that. It does have a smoke smell to it. Obviously you can't tell that, but it does have a smoke smell to it, which I can get that out. Ozone generator helps some with that. I'm always going to go to check the tires, and these are bald, so I'm going to need 4 new tires on this if I do end up buying this, which you're talking, even if you buy used tires, you're talking $200. Got paint peeling on the front. I don't see a ton of dents and dings on it. Let's go ahead and pop it. Under the hood, I'm always going to check a couple things before I start it up and use the scanner. I'm always going to check the antifreeze. That looks good. Make sure that doesn't look bad. Always going to check the oil. And then if you can access it, the transmission fluid as well. So I'm just going to pop the oil cap. Look there. Doesn't look anything crazy. And the actual oil dipstick. Black, that's pretty typical for an auction vehicle, but black is not mixed or anything like that. Doesn't look bad. So no worries there. And I'm just kind of looking around, seeing what it looks like. Looks relatively clean. Battery looks decent, not new. This auction will sometimes throw a used battery in there if it doesn't have a battery on it, but this one's only going to be the 3.7 liter engine in this. Now you are allowed to start them here at this auction, so I got the key in. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to actually crank it. And it started right up with no issues there. Looking on the dash, no check engine lights. I'm going to check the AC. And it is absolutely cool. So somebody obviously has been here and checked this before, but AC is nice and cool. Let's go and turn off the AC and turn it to heat. Make sure it changes. And yep, changed over and it's still warm. Idling is good. Check the radio, and radio is good as well. I'm going to pop it into reverse. shifted into reverse with no issues. I'm going to go into drive. Now with this one, you can drive it a little bit, just forward and backwards. They also do test drive them a bit as well here at the auction, and they'll actually do like a little drive-through video. But you can see looks pretty decent, so relatively pleased with that. I am also going to check and swap this. I want to just see if it'll go to heat, defrost, and then just up top, see if that changes. Yes, it does, so nothing needs fixed there. So only thing this one needs is going to be some cleaning. I think there should have been something there, that or they spray painted. I'm not sure, that looks kind of funky. Seats are not ripped or torn, just really needs a good cleaning inside. And then it's going to need the tires. Same thing on this side. I feel like there should have been something here. Maybe there was and it fell off, because it just kind of looks weird. Not 100% sure on that. Now this is going to be a cheaper one. It's a 2013. Let's go ahead and go back to Max AC. This one's going to be a 2013 on that. So you know, it is obviously not going to be perfect, but if I could get this one cheap enough, I would go for it. This is probably reselling this, even with 100 and something thousand miles. It's only like 110, 115,000. Reselling this is probably only going to be somewhere in the ballpark of maybe 5, 6, 7 if I'm lucky. Not really any dents or dings or anything, but that's the first one on the list. So then what I do is I just run through and add on my list like what it needs. So on this one, I'll write needs tires, and then I'll write what I think my max bid should be on it. And then I move on to the next car. So that's how I do it here at the auction.